nimble digital natives, small companies, digitally native, disruptive business models, making whole industries obsolete overnight. And then the next one is really the workforce of the future. There's a huge global concentration of engineering talent going on. We also need much more experimentation and what I call entrepreneurship. Employees in big companies being allowed to be entrepreneurs within their own organization to really combat these new business models and leverage this technology. There's a high level of competition for relevant skills, and relevant skills I call business and IT, because IT is the business and the business is IT. And also the move to autonomous and flat teams, no longer siloed organizations, hierarchical teams that can quickly make great decisions and move on with things. And obviously, we can tap into the liquid workforce much more easily than we could before. I mentioned the term industrial consumerism. So this is where I think a lot of change is coming from. Everything is becoming a service. What used to be a product now is a service, right? And moreover, the experience of consuming the product or the service is actually more important than the product itself, right? Products as a service, I mean, think about it. When was the last time you actually bought a movie or a DVD or a song? You rent it, right? You consume it and then you leave it behind. The same goes with products, bikes, cars. You know, next generations won't own it. They'll share it. They'll use it when they need it. So smart and connected products are important. All these things are talking to each other, and we use that information to manage that a lot better and to give customers a much better experience. We also have strong innovation in service. So think about mobile phones. Your mobile phone breaks down. You will get a hot swap on the spot of your location. That is possible. And actually, you will be given a replacement phone that will have your data uploaded onto it and your apps and everything that you need, your settings, before you hand back your old device for repair. Some great innovation in that regard. Also, new business dynamics and value sources are being created. So the rise of ecosystems, the platform-based economy with complementary offerings is really important. You know, it's no longer a sole product or a sole service. Products and services are being intertwined, and companies use different partners to actually provide that to their consumers. I talked about the nimble digital natives that have arisen out of the IT environment. And because of this connection, because of this data, because of this Internet of Things, we have a lot more emphasis on cybersecurity. And we all have heard about the recent hacks, even companies that we would have expected to be so incredibly careful with their personal financial data, like Equifax, etc., have been hacked, and you know, it's quite stringent, and it's only going to continue to grow. The use of social media, making instant collaboration a fact, so we can now much better collaborate with consumers. We can get pilot feedback instantly. We can get feedback on products. We can work on collaborative design with them. There are plenty of examples out there. Organizations allowing consumers through social media to actually shape the products and the services that they sell. And then the Internet of Things, clearly. And lastly, the investor expectations. They're not going away. Investors are still going to demand revenue growth, profit growth, and margin growth, with an urge for customer transparency. No longer can companies hide secrets from their customers. And lastly, a focus on sustainability. We really see that companies that exceed performance focus on three things: growth, efficiency, and sustainability and trust. And our empirical research shows that if you do all three, if you embark on all three strategies, you will outperform your peers. It's really important to keep doing that. So I think in the past, many companies have relied on the strength of their products to stay ahead of the competition. But today, they must successfully navigate a number of factors, which also includes managing the rising service expectation of the digitally empowered customers, seeking the same levels of ease And the same levels of experience that they have in the B2C environment translated into B2B. Right? I mean, you see people coming, for example, to working in a big financial institution, in a bank, wanting to buy something as a business employee. It is a nightmare. At home, they just go onto an app, pick what they want, order it, and they know when it's going to be delivered, and they'll get notifications, etc., etc. Right? So increasingly, we expect most companies will need to focus on service and experience as much as they do on product, regardless of their industry, continuously differentiating that customer journey and leveraging the digital technologies to improve the way that consumers process and businesses do things, becoming leaders in process, in strategy, in organization, and in technology. So those are some of the changes. Obviously, what that does is it imposes a lot of challenges on our industry leaders. For example, the CEO, he's asking, the core business is no longer delivering the expected growth. Our competitors are taking away market share. What are we going to do about it? And we know that growth is becoming harder and harder, and it's becoming more expensive. And look at Unilever. They bought the $1 Shave Club for $1.5 billion. Right? A large European bank did a complete digital transformation, $2 billion. These are significant amounts of money that companies need to invest to grow. And the timing of that growth is very important. You're too early, and you won't have the uptake and the demand. You're too late, it gets very expensive. Right? Research and Development Executive Vice President, needing to move from prototype to production faster. How can you compete on design, features, and applications? You know, it's really important to get ahead of the competition. Look at phones. I think Samsung was clearly focusing on innovation, product innovation, application innovation, and trying to beat Apple with that. Apple is clearly a service experience company, and it's all about the encompassing suite of services that they provide with it, the experience of buying and getting an Apple iPhone, for example, except the waiting line overnight in the queue for the store, which I think seems to be fading down these days. And so, it's about the competition on features, on innovation of the product that is going to be need and force different ways of doing things. The traditional, prototyping, R&D development processes are no longer fit for purpose. Manufacturing VP, having issues rebalancing reliability, quality, and the velocity at which products are changing. We need agility on the shop floor, not long setup processes that are very costly. Right? As we grow mass customization, or what I call hyper customization, this is going to be even more important, and things need to change in that regard. The field service director, seeing his warranty costs increasing and not really knowing what the root cause is, so having real-time data available, advanced analytics on the installed base, being able to actually identify problems, identify the root cause, and prevent them even from happening. And lastly, the poor CIO who's got to pull it all together. And I think this is probably where I see a really big shift, is because I mentioned before, the business is IT, and IT is the business, right? And having these separate big IT departments that need to define business requirements with the business and then go away and do a lot of waterfall processes around releasing new software it's not of these days anymore. It needs to be integrated, it needs to be rapid, we need to be agile, we need to have two-speed IT, and we need to be flat autonomous teams that can work together. An IT person, a data scientist, a business person, and they sit together and actually figure this out and go and do it quickly. Right? So those are some of the challenges on the industry leaders. So let's introduce Industry X.0. I mean, you've all heard the 4 industrial revolutions, I'm sure. We think it's going to continue, right? I mean, it's not going to be Industry 5.0, but it's going to be X.0. And we've been doing a lot of research and found evidence for the continuous and accelerated innovation of the industrial evolution waves enabled by digital. And the core of Industry X.0 is a highly intelligent connected system that creates a fully digital value chain. The 4th industrial revolution really enabled by the industrial Internet of Things. Right? We have sensors on everything, distributed. It doesn't really matter where it is. We know what's going on. We can read it, we can do something about it, and we can monitor it. Right? So 3 key trends are changing the way of life and industrial companies and their employees and their customers today. Firstly, they digitize. Everything is, all processes, production processes from high-tech to industrial are being transformed by digital technology, even farming. They industrialize. Leading companies are already integrating these technologies and improving and evolving the pillars of their value chain. And thirdly, they optimize. Innovative manufacturers recognize that enhancing the manufacturing process for even simple products presents new opportunities for growth. So, Industry X.0 is really a digital reinvention of industry. I'll let you read the definition here that we provided. So I'd like to highlight a few key elements in this definition. Firstly, personalized. People want personalized products and services. They don't want to buy customization. We've had this whole wave where we've gone, oh, you have to have standardization in your business because, you know, diversification of SKUs is complex, it's costing you a lot of money, and you can't deal with it. So make it all the same. You know, you can have a car, but it's only going to be in black, right? Now we're seeing a massive push towards personalization. People can buy shoes that they can make and have 3D printed. They can have their own colors and designs on the shoes and on the clothes. So many examples of that. It's about experiences. I already talked about it. Receiving a product is no longer enough. It's about how I actually get to the product, how I use it and install it, and then also what happens if it doesn't work and when something goes wrong. Right through the retirement, people are pushing for sustainability. They don't want to throw it away. They want to know that it's actually being dealt with in the right way. And then it's about efficiency and growth. And I think this last point is really important. We all know we can get efficiency out of better leveraging digital, but it's also about revenue growth and doing it at the same time. So we're talking about connected, intelligent digital products that communicate with the users, that have new digital business models surrounded by it, and that harness collected data to offer additional services and as-a-service products. Products on the assembly line, for example, that tell the shop floor machinery how they are to be processed, as opposed to we're telling the machines what to do. So imagine creating whole new levels of efficiency, new sources of growth, and new experiences that satisfy industrial customers' growing hunger for the cost-effective personalization